It is 7 o'clock Sunday night. You know what that means. It is the man event. Back another Sunday night, and here for the ride with you are Pooh Bear, Matty Ho, the Chief, and I am B Love. This is the first man event since live sports are back on television, and we are excited to talk a little bit of baseball.
What we were born to do right here.
And some Rays with you. If you're watching live, I want you to get ready for something. One of our discussion topics tonight is going to be, what is the best part of no fans at the games to you? Send us those thoughts in the comments, and we'll get to you in just a minute. Go ahead and get those in now. And with that, Pooh Bear, let's roll. That's like my favorite part of the man event, by the way.
If they can pipe in, fake audience sounds at the Rays game, I figure we can do it here.
Yeah, you could be a little. There you go. You could be a little bit more aggressive, though. I think the applause would be much bigger. I'm thinking more like standing ovation.
I haven't found the app for standing ovation, but I can look.
How about the wave? Can we get the wave?
All different kinds of crowd noise.
Oh, the wave is terrible.
It goes from me to Pooh Bear to B Love to Matt, and go.
Pooh Bear, what happened?
I hate the wave. I'm not doing the wave.
That guy, man, the wave killer.
I'm shutting it down right there.
All right, me, Matty, B Love,
go.
Go.
Woo!
And
flat at the end there. He's out.
That was weak.
Terrible.
That was weak. Hey, gentlemen, I gotta say, how's your weekend been?
It has been a great weekend for me. Got to see some baseball today, the day before and the day before that. So I'm pretty excited about that. The Rays have won two out of the last three, so it's been a pretty good weekend.
Yeah.
And
it was a really good game today.
Yeah. Yeah, not a bad weekend. First weekend of live sports.
Woohoo!
I see the beard still here.
The beard is still here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a charity event.
We gotta work on that. I don't know, man.
Here's the thing about, not to cut you off on your beard, but here's the thing about the game today, right? I don't know. People may have watched other games, but the Rays game, extra innings, right? Went into overtime, which is always cool for sports. And the way it was right down to the last pitch, the last out, the last everything, and then the guys came from behind to win.
That's the stuff movies are made of.
Yeah, that's just.
Do we call it overtime in baseball?
No, I was just
extra innings. Yeah.
Extra.
It's
called when you're at the game. It's called free baseball.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Because you only paid for the first 9 innings.
After that, it's all gratis.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the team showed a little bit of grit, I thought, yesterday and today, coming from down both games late in the game.
Kmart, I was giving Kmart a little grief. He got the bat in the 9th inning. I'm like, this guy's 0 for 2020. And, then he came up again in the 10th inning. And I'm not going to lie, man. I said, oh, my gosh, this guy is so due. But you never know, man. I'm like, just please be it. And sure enough, man, he had a great at bat. Hit that double into right field.
Yep.
The question is were you standing?
Oh, I was standing. I was absolutely standing. So
it worked.
They needed it.
Yeah. So far, pretty disappointing starting pitching, would you say?
Yeah.
It's to be expected, though. You got these guys. That's something you have to kind of work into, and it's a craft you have to refine. You can't just get up off the couch and start pitching to major leaguers. You've got to. That's why spring training is so long. So they only had 2 weeks of summer camp to get ready for that.
I feel as a fan, I was in mid-season critic shape. With
Yeah.
with Colin KK out 3 games in.
It's enough. Let's do it.
He was over, so it was legit. I'm on with that.
So how are you feeling so far? I know it's only a weekend, and we can talk about some other teams besides the Rays, but how you feeling so far after 3?
I've been impressed with the Reds, man. They're pitching. All 3 of their starters so far today have all recorded more than 10 strikeouts. They've gone deep. Reds could be for real.
Yeah.
So they had a longer summer camp than we did?
I don't know. I think they may have had just an easier opponent.
Well, I think that the Blue Jays have actually been very impressive to me. I mean, today they must have had 15 hits. For a team that no one is expecting much from, don't forget Charlie Montoya is their general manager now, and man, he has learned from some of the best on how to make something out of almost nothing.
Right.
And I think he's got a team that believes in him, and those guys, I don't believe they're going to be dead last in the division this year. They are going to put up a fight. So they certainly did with us. They took us to none.
You're putting the Orioles in dead last then?
Yeah. Yes.
Makes sense.
It could be the Red Sox at this rate.
Listen, I've never heard of their shortstop before until this weekend. But we gave that guy a workout. I feel like every ball we hit that wasn't a hit was to that guy.
Right.
You keep saying that guy, and I keep thinking, man, she's a pretty good ball player.
Oh my goodness. That is Dante Bichette's son.
Yeah, well, he needs a haircut.
Well, whatever.
You can go with the haircut. Just saying.
His dad was a pretty good ball player.
Excellent hitter. He was all right. That team is full of guys who their dads played Major League Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 or 4 of them.
You got one of the Killer Bees' kid.
Yep, Gavin Biggio or Biggio,
and
Kevin,
and then
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Vlad Jr. Yeah, he looks like he ate a couple pizzas in the offseason.
Ooh, he reminds me a bit of Prince Fielder, right? You talk about
him being that big last year. I remember him being in the league because it was like his breakthrough season.
Well, it was his rookie season. Yeah, he's a little thick in the middle.
That would make sense then.
He's a little thick.
And there are a couple guys that had some COVID weight. Yandy, he looks like he put a couple pounds on too. So
yeah, I think Alvarado may have benefited from some DoorDash himself.
a little extra in the off season, a little extra off season.
Uber Eats, that DoorDash, whatever he gets. So, what do you guys think about not having anybody in the stands? I noticed our cutouts aren't up yet. By the way,
no cutouts.
Yeah, how about that? We took those last Sunday. We're ready to see them, and now they tell us maybe not till August 4th.
Hey, not only that,
we paid for 60 games of it.
They also bait and switched us on the cost.
They did. Yes, they did.
Yeah,
with the extra $5.
Mm-hmm. Cutout fee.
$5. Ridiculous.
Yeah. She said, "I'm not paying it. Just don't cut mine out. However it comes out, just throw the whole thing."
Gonna make it square.
Just make it.
How about I think the 4 of us just could have, just do one cutout with the 4 of us together, and would have been all right.
Yeah, we could have saved $15.
Yeah,
that's right.
So.
Well, also what'll be interesting is when they do put them up, because they say they can't guarantee you're going to all be together. I wonder where we're all going to end up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we may not.
So I've been watching to see what the other teams are doing and checking into some other games, and there aren't many. Like the teams that do have the cutouts, there's not a whole lot of them. I think the Dodgers probably had the most. But I like what they were doing. They did where there's a guy that always sits behind home plate with the radar gun that wears like a fedora.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he is, but he's part of the team. Like he's the radar gun guy. But they've got his cutout sitting in his normal seat. I thought that was pretty cool. So the Rays could do something like that with like a Dick Vitale. He's got a regular seat.
Yeah.
Some of the guys from the Outback group. There's some local celebrities they could place around. Be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What y'all think about the overtime rule? How'd that,
You mean second base guy? I mean, start on second.
Yeah. Got to start on second.
I love it.
I like it. I thought it was definitely fun. Atlanta had a game yesterday with that too. I didn't catch that game. I didn't realize that today's wasn't the first, but it's like there's a little bit of gameplay there, right? Because Who is the player that goes on second? It was the last batted out, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
And
So
in
that
the Blue Jays case today, they didn't want to use that runner, so they put a pinch runner in and remove that guy from the game.
Right.
So there, like you just said, there's some gamesmanship there. There has to be some strategy, and this is kind of where I was getting into with teams like the Yankees that have, guys that aren't necessarily the most athletic. They're terrific hitters, but they're not the most athletic. If that was Aaron Judge that ended up being their last batted out,
he'd still be running.
You're going to run him from second. You can take him out and hopefully you have a faster outfielder you can put in right field. But what happens when you come at the bottom?
Right. You need him at the bat, though. You need it right.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. So you can't remove his bat out of the lineup.
Well, it worked out for them. They put a guy with wheels on second base and he stole third.
Correct. Barely. Oh my God, that was a great throw by this backup catcher the Rays had.
That was the great throw. It was the tag that was off a bit.
And the tag was fine. He had good glove work. It just missed. He went straight where you're supposed to. The guy hand just went around.
I don't blame Wendell at all. It was like you said. It was just a
right.
But
in the Atlanta game yesterday, do you realize that they won? That game was won without a hit. They stole a base, there was a walk and something else, and there was not an official at bat recorded, and the game was still won.
You mean in the 10th inning there was no
in the 10th inning? Yes,
yeah.
In the 10th inning, yeah. To advance the runner, to make him score, there was no actual hit. There was a bunt involved, and I can't remember all the details to it, but no official at bat was recorded. Well, that's my problem with it. So all of a sudden the game has completely changed.
That is fair to say, because with a runner on second and no outs, you could sacrifice the runner to third and home.
Right. Well,
yes, exactly.
And put a runner across the plate.
It puts pressure on the pitcher.
So if nobody scores in the top of the 10th inning, the home team has the advantage that they could sacrifice that runner over twice and get a walk-off win.
Right.
They can be extra aggressive, right?
A bunt, even bunting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the whole purpose of putting it on there. It's putting pressure on in a situation that used to traditionally not have any pressure. I'll
tell you too, that also makes late game defensive substitutions a big deal, especially in a close game, because you want to make sure you got a guy with an arm out there in the outfield too in that situation.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, I thought if Kiermaier had have caught that ball instead of the left fielder, they probably get the runner at home.
If Kiermaier did you see Kiermaier? He was diving for the ball, so he would had to have caught it on the run with the charging it. Yeah, and I think you're right. He's got a cannon. He probably could have made it, but in his current position, he would have been on the ground if he caught it.
Yeah.
So,
all in all, I like the idea of this. I think it mixes it up a little bit because a lot of times you get these games that just keep going and going and going. So this really does change. It puts the manager on the spot here on what kind of a chess game he's going to play, because you always have to look at who's up with the other team, who's in their lineup, who's coming up next to really decide this. But it also does give, like you said, the home team a little bit of an extra advantage there, because if the first team up doesn't score, and then you can throw everything at the wall to see what sticks, because you just get a run, you win. Mm-hmm. So it really is kind of neat. I really like it.
So you say you really like it. You would give it an applause. Is that what you're saying?
I would say if I had an applause, I would give it. Oh,
I do have an applause.
If you didn't know,
guys,
Chief discovered a applause app for his phone so he could bring the at-home the at stadium experience to the house.
Yes,
he retired the Vuvuzuela.
Gone. It's over. I know I was hard on him last week, and I saw that there were a couple of games on this week, and I turned it to couldn't do it. Even the Orlando team was playing, which is the closest team we have to us, because we all know the Rowdies are Major League Soccer, and so I gave it another shot. Couldn't do it, man. I tried. Sorry.
Yeah. That was a great game. They have new overtime rules too, because they're essentially in a tournament. So they're at the stage at your win or go home. And if you've ever watched soccer, they do multiple overtimes before they go to penalties.
You lost him, man. He's gone.
In the MLS, they're going straight to the penalties.
He's done.
NBA, you guys want to talk about the Orlando Magic?
Let's not do it. Let's not do it. Cliff may go from sleeping to heart attack. I don't know.
Hey, why don't we just talk about women's NBA if we're going to talk about sports that no one cares about?
It was on
That's
today. It was on
Hey,
today.
Did you see the women's NBA? They didn't kneel. They just walked off the court.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Hey, the last time I watched women's NBA was when we were hanging our picture on the wall at Hooters. And everyone left me because the waitress came in and we were going to get busted, but I had the bag with a drill in it, and so I had to stay out there and pretend like I was interested in this women's NBA game. I'm going, oh, that's really good basketball, blah blah blah. And anyway, everyone else is back at the table eating chicken wings, waiting for the place to clear out so I can go screw this picture on the wall.
That was a long time ago too. Man,
that was a long time ago. It stayed up there for a solid decade. It's gone now, but that was a funny picture.
Gone now.
I didn't realize the WNBA was around that long.
I didn't realize it was still a league.
It still is.
It was on today.
Is Bill Lambier still a coach in the WNBA? That's the funniest thing to me is seeing this guy.
Not a clue.
An enforcer for the Detroit Pistons back in their day when they were well known for playing a very physical style of basketball.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now he coaches women's basketball. The irony.
Those girls could certainly play. They can outplay me. So really quick on the crowd noise that Cliff is playing there. Did you guys know about? Well, obviously you know, but they're piping in the crowd noise to the baseball games.
Yeah,
I think the Rays have been doing that for a long time, by the way, because I don't notice a difference between this season and last season, except for the fact they did do the cheers today. They did the charge. But there was nobody yelling charge behind it. I thought that was a little odd, but.
Now, so the cool thing about that is when you're watching it on TV, you really don't notice anything different. It just feels regular. And of course, listening to Dwayne today on TV and stuff, it's just pretty cool. But from what I understand, they don't allow them to use booze. The MLB said you can't play any booze.
Right.
So like if Houston's coming to the plate, you can't play a bunch of boo noises.
Oh man, I hadn't seen. Did anybody get beaned?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Opening night, three Astros got beaned. He had Altuve and Bregman got beaned right in a row
on opening night.
Yeah. On opening night, and then Springer got hit a couple innings later. Yeah, they all got theirs.
Coming.
But yeah, as far as the crowd noise, I don't really notice it until the camera hits some seats, and then it's empty. There's nobody there. But other than that, it feels natural. You've got the commentators going. They're doing the spot interviews with the man in the stands kind of thing, or girl in the stands, as it may be for the Rays. And they just talk to a player in the dugout or something, but it feels very fluid and natural.
Until you get to the post game interviews, then you're like watching a guy watch it.
Yeah, those are weird.
That's crazy.
Right now, the Braves and the Mets are playing on ESPN, and there are a lot of cutouts in the stands. So everyone is wearing essentially like the orange for the Mets on the cutouts. I wonder if they must have done something like the Rays did, where they wanted everybody, where you had to require to wear the colors of the team. Because I saw the Dodgers, they had guys that were wearing like derbies and like bow ties, not necessarily Dodgers stuff. But on the Mets, there's a lot of cutouts in the stadium, but it's going to be hard to find yours because everybody, essentially is dressed the same.
The same, yeah. Kind of takes the fun out of it.
That's why I wore the bandana. I haven't heard it's been rejected yet, so.
No, they said if it was rejected, they would call us, and I've gotten no call.
All right,
so we're good. Supposedly for the next homestand, we'll be good to go.
We'll be looking for it. Yeah.
Wow. So we paid essentially $2 a game. Are we going to get our $10 back?
We're missing $6.
Are we going to get our $10 back?
We're not getting the exposure we anticipated.
That's right.
Golly.
False advertising.
Yeah.
Hey, breaking news! I just saw. Speaking baseball, is Verlander's done?
Well, he's out with forearm strain.
With a forearm, so that'll put him out for the rest of the season, essentially. Well,
and he just tweeted that he will return soon. After some time off.
I think soon means next year.
It may. It very well may. So, and that kind of leads into,
Is
one
he
of my
still married?
Yeah.
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 So his off season's not going to be so bad.
No, I don't. Any off season with Kate Upton is not bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe.
He's all right.
You think she can cook?
I think his net worth is a little in the zone of we don't have to cook here. So we're cooking doesn't matter. Not sure
you think they're up for a cooking competition with us?
Oh, see, now that is
Yeah,
interesting.
see, if he's got some spare time and his wife's got some spare time, we can call them up, see if they want to, come down and do a little cooking competition.
A little
we
challenge.
could do like an omelet whisking competition with Kate Upton.
Not sure what that means.
Wow. That just came out so natural and so easy.
Well, I love omelets. What's the problem?
Dude, how do you like your omelet, Pooh Bear?
I like
You like it shaken, not stirred. Yeah.
Three egg omelet. I like a lot of you add a little bit of milk or some sort of a whipping cream or milk to fluff them up a little bit.
Okay.
Some cheese, some ham, bacon, maybe some onions.
Just straight up Denver omelet. Denver omelets are great, man.
I don't know what's. I don't know them by name. I don't eat them enough.
This guy in
the Denver omelet.
What's in it?
Oh, you got you got the peppers in there too.
Nope. There you go. That's why.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. No green peppers. Anything that you put green peppers in makes that thing taste like green peppers, and that's all I taste.
They're good anyway.
No, negative, Ghost Rider.
Wow. The pattern is full.
That pattern is full.
The omelet is full. All right.
Hey, that movie got pushed back till next year. It's supposed to be released
like in November. Yeah,
it was supposed to be released soon.
How disappointing!
I think they're missing a golden opportunity.
Netflix or something.
Well, they don't need to go straight to Netflix. They can do what a lot of these other films are doing and do a short-term rental fee. $7 a pop. You're going to get a lot of people rent that. That's a huge anticipated release.
Right.
You certainly could work a deal with Apple TV or Netflix or Hulu or somebody to release it, but you can still control your rights if you release it for rent at $6, $8, $10 a pop. All of us would pay money to watch a movie like that at our home.
Well, what was that cartoon movie that just did that earlier this year? And
that's what I'm saying.
A ton of money, right?
Right.
The pattern had a huge problem with the Scooby-Doo movie. He wasn't going to pay for that. That's for sure.
No. Well, that was Scooby-Doo.
That's for kids.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. This is also $20. It was also $22.
Yeah.
Right, but
would you invite the whole neighborhood over?
Would you pay $22 for you and your wife to sit on the couch and watch Top Gun on your TV?
Yes.
Yeah. See.
Yes.
The new Top Gun, not the old Top Gun. I've seen
the old Top Gun. I've got on DVD somewhere.
You're gonna have to make sure
that you're on VHS somewhere.
You're gonna have to make sure that your internet's up to it, though.
Yeah. Why is mine bugging out right now?
No,
you're fine.
Oh.
You're okay.
Hey, back to baseball though. Let's talk about the advantages of maybe no fans at the games.
You mean like what is your favorite part of there not being any fans in the stands?
Yeah, you have to watch it from home. There's no guilt from saying, I'm watching it at home today because I didn't want to drive all the way to St. Pete, So
well,
what do you think?
So there's some advantages to this, right? Some upside. So one is the beer's cheaper.
At home, okay.
Mm-hmm. Right, beer's cheaper.
All concessions are practically free at home compared to what they cost at the stadium.
Yes.
So let me change this.
You don't have to stand in line to get it.
No. How about the bathroom? Not every. I have a private suite in my house. For as opposed to the stadium where I'm standing in line like cattle. So
no lines. Yep. No trough. You don't have to pee into a trough.
How about you don't have to wear a mask?
That's a bit, yeah. No mask at my house, that's for sure. So,
no wearing a mask, no paying for parking.
Nope, I don't pay for parking.
Yeah, parking is no traffic.
Control the AC.
Yeah, that's a big advantage.
How about room on the couch? By the way, I don't have to sit, between two freaking monsters.
As
where I'm jammed in.
As the world's tallest human, leg
Yep.
room.
Yeah.
Leg room.
Leg room. Listen, that's one of the reasons I don't like to go to NFL games until it's like the dead of winter, because we get out there in September or October for a 1:00 game and we're sweating all over each other. We're sitting so close together.
Well, not if we're in the suite, we're not. But then
Well,
3 of us can laugh at that joke.
I wouldn't know.
3 of us can laugh at that joke.
Oh man.
Noah would come back and tell you, yeah, but who won?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We remember.
Here's the other thing. What about this? What about like your 7th inning stretch, right?
I do miss the 7th inning stretch, though. That's actually a good part of the game.
But they're doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not the same though.
I do like the creative things they're doing, like on the MLB app, you can log in to cheer and do like a.
What'd you say?
Huh?
No.
Like someone say cheer?
I mean, that was just a softball.
You need a better app.
Yeah, you can log in to do that, and then if they've asked us not just us, but all fans to.
No, they pretty much just us, I believe.
Yeah, it was a direct email to me, so I know therefore they were asking me. But they've asked fans to submit video of them doing cheers and things that they would normally do in the stadium, rooting for the team.
Right.
Like the wave.
No wave. We don't do wave.
Like the wave.
That worked earlier in the show. I mean, I don't know. We should try it again.
Our number one fan, John, says baseball he doesn't like to watch on TV, but football he doesn't like to go to the game. So he's kind of like in the same position as us.
Yeah.
See, now here's the thing, like with baseball, because I'm going to disagree with John a little bit here, because like today, the good thing about baseball is you can have it on in the background, right? And you can be following the game and you can be doing other things. Today, I was painting in the house and I had the game on, but I had the TV on with the game, and which I still think was pretty cool. And you can be walking around doing other things and you're listening to the game. And I think that's what's really cool about baseball.
It's a more leisurely paced.
I think you can do that with baseball, but you can't really do that with football. And
right.
Absolutely not.
Football, you got to be on the couch, glued to the TV or whatever.
Into it, right?
Yeah. Right. Or even hockey, I'd say. I don't know that you can really follow hockey by having your.
I like having the game on in the background for hockey, and then of course when you hear the go way up, you end up cranking your neck to see the TV screen again.
That's me. At least with the Lightning, when I hear Dave Michigan, it seems like every play is about to be scored. So I can't not watch. But I think their breaks are long enough, and then the intermissions are long enough to where you can go and do what you have to do.
Right.
If you've got to go to the kitchen or the restroom or whatever.
Well, I think it's the leisurely pace of baseball that where you can just enjoy it, and that's what makes baseball cool to me.
Well, I think that's why it was called America's Pastime for so long, is because it was kind of something you could do that you weren't involved in, from a leisure aspect, and it was just more of a. Of course, that was back before it was on television. It was back before television.
Picture yourself sitting in your hammock with your transistor radio and your country time lemonade, right? And you're just sitting there, you're listening to the game, you're half asleep, you're under a tree somewhere. Oh.
I can remember specifically in 87, I think it was. I can't help listen to Chiefs radio. Your radio's real loud, Chief. Can you turn it down? Guess not.
Let's see what's going on here.
He'll be back. All right, guys. Chief will be back in a moment.
I'm muting. There we go. I can remember specifically following along with the Red Sox, and Red Sox won the series. I can't remember who they were playing against. He's got me all distracted.
Red Sox are 1-2, by the way, which is kind of nice to see them at bottom of the AL East.
It was, but my
Sox, did they go 0 for 3 this weekend?
No,
they got beat 1-2 against the Orioles. That's what I mean about the bottom of the division. Anyway, I just remember listening to that World Series at home. My class that I was going to, my astronomy class, was really into it, and like I hadn't really followed baseball up until that point, but the kids in the class were so into it that I was that guy at night going home listening to the radio under the pillow to see if that was the Bill Buckner year.
Wow.
So there's a lot to talk about in the astronomy class. They loved it.
The Mutts.
Yeah, it was the Mets and the Red Sox, right?
Yeah. So what are some of your other favorite parts of watching baseball from home versus going to the stadium?
Something I've noticed that the Rays are doing that I like is the fact that the announcers are in the stadium. They're not in a studio someplace. When they're in the studio, there is a lag between the game and what they're making for comments. Whereas Dwayne and BA are in the in the stadium and they're making the comments live, and it just flows with the game a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's not really something that like I said, I don't see Dwayne and BA at the stadium, so I see him at home. Like we're buddies. So.
You guys are hanging out.
We did one year opening day. We ran into
I do.
Oh my gosh, what's his name? He used to be the on-field guy.
Todd Callis.
Todd Callis. You remember? We ran into Todd Callis. Opened the door. There he was. They're like, "Hey, you're Todd Callis."
Now he's the play-by-play guy for the cheating Astros.
For the cheating Astros.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's his fault, by the way.
It'll be interesting.
It's definitely probably his fault.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes with hockey when that starts in this weekend or whatever.
Man, I can't
watch
wait.
that
I'm ready
versus
for
baseball, because, like we were saying before, baseball, when you're watching it on TV, it's really no different. It just feels like baseball.
Right.
And I don't know what football is going to be like, but
well, I think with baseball, it's very difficult for someone that doesn't live near a stadium and have the kind of lifestyle that would lend itself to be able to go and attend every game, right? So most baseball fans, I would say the overwhelming majority of baseball fans, can't get to every game.
Right.
So there is a lot of time when you're watching the game at home, whether it be a Sunday afternoon by the pool or if it's a Wednesday night sitting in your favorite easy chair. There is a routine that you may get into to watch the game at home. So it's familiar. Whereas, something like football, it's once a week, if you're for your favorite team anyway.
Right.
It's once a week. So going to the game is a big deal. It's something you work up to. You think about it, you plan for it, you tailgate, all that kind of stuff. It goes into it. So I think there's more, there's a grander scale to going to a football game than there is going to a baseball game.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, of course, you get 70,000 people at a football game, where if you get 20 or 25 at a baseball game, you're doing pretty good. So
yeah.
Of course, there's 8 games for football versus 80 something games for baseball. So
Correct.
It makes a big difference too.
Yeah. Well, I think in the NFL, all 16 games matter. And the argument being this year in Major League Baseball, all 60 will matter.
Every game.
But normally when it's a 162 game season, I wouldn't say they all matter.
Well, if this was a regular season with 60 games left, this would put you in August, right? Almost August.
And I'll tell you, with the expansion of the Major League Baseball playoffs to 16 games, I think you're going to see 1 or 2 teams get in that had a losing record.
Could be.
Wow.
You're going to see a couple of teams probably get into the playoffs that had a losing record. I think for the Rays to win their division, they're going to have to win every home series. And they need to go at least 500 on the road if they're going to win the AL East.
Well, their biggest challenge is New York, right? I mean, is that obviously?
Well, it's early to say, but I mean, New York is obviously a front runner,
right?
To win the whole thing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
They've spent the last 2 seasons doing what the Yankees do, and that's buying talent. They brought in Garrett Cole this season as another starting pitcher. They brought in a Stanton last year. I mean, you can't argue with some of the talent on that team. Judge.
They got bats.
Yep. They got bats and pitching.
Yeah. So, and a shortened season really works out well for them, I think. So, they're favored, but the Rays can do it.
Unless somebody gets hurt. I mean, I think the other thing is like people getting hurt. Like we just talked about Verlander, to Cliff's point, he has a forearm strain. He's going to miss half of his starts that he was going to get this season. That's a big factor. Whereas that wouldn't be as big of a factor in a 162 game season. And I think go ahead.
And then they shut him down. Really.
I mean, you may just say, hey, let's save him. Let's save him.
He's an asset with a high enough value where season doesn't matter. You're getting ready for 21.
But I think I saw right before we got on this, the Marlins had 4 players test positive for COVID. Either yesterday or today, I'm not sure. You got to imagine that if 4 players tested positive for COVID, that clubhouse is going to be hurting pretty soon. 4 is going to turn into 8 in no time.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, they have to have 2 consecutive negative tests to get off what they're calling the COVID injured list or whatever. And that's going to be half the season. 14 weeks or 14 days is a quarantine. It's 2 weeks.
So they've changed those standards. I don't know if Major League Baseball has actually gone up to speed with everybody else, but the CDC just last week said that you can have lingering effects from COVID, and you can still have positive tests even though you're no longer contagious. So the new standard from the CDC is 10 days after your initial diagnosis plus 24 hours without a fever, and then they said you are no longer contagious at that point, and you're able to go back to work. So if Major League Baseball adopts that, it'll do away with the the 2 negatives in a row. Yeah. Actually, no testing at that point.
Yeah. Well, and you got to imagine the union would have to get involved with that decision to make all that. And I don't know that they will with people as nervous as they are already playing. So I'm imagining that they wouldn't adopt that no matter what.
How did we wind up talking about COVID again, by the way? I mean, every time, it just spirals into COVID.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
There's nothing that doesn't touch right now.
Yeah, there's nothing. You're right. That's a great way to say it. And there's nothing it doesn't touch. But yeah, I think
the NFL had a few positives too, right? They had 60 or 70 overall. The NFL was reporting earlier last week.
Yeah. Who did the Marlins play this weekend? Anybody know?
Coming up, or who did they play?
Who did they just play? Because I mean, I would almost be curious, like whoever they came in contact with, likely could.
The Phillies.
Also, yeah. I mean, next thing you know, Bryce Harper's got it.
Yeah, they played the Phillies.
It's possible. I think the protocols that are in place are keeping the team separate enough to where anytime you're exposed to the team, it's on base or it's in passing. There's not enough for the viral load to pass over.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Today, let's see here. Today was the final game in this series for the Rays in Toronto, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So then the question becomes now, what did the Toronto Blue Jays all do after the game? They don't have a home to go to, so did they all go hang out at like maybe the players? I don't know.
They're gonna go get some hot wings in Buffalo.
I think they have another away series before they go back to.
Well, they need that time because they got to get that Buffalo Stadium ready.
I was talking to people about that, and I just don't understand the reason to go to Buffalo. I mean, the fans can't come and see you. Even your family can't come and see you because if they do, they can't go home for 2 more weeks. Or once they go home, they have to stay home. Yeah, and there are better facilities. If those guys have been playing in Dunedin next week or whenever, they'd be there by now. I mean, they stay in the same hotel and everything else. But now they're going to get on a plane. They're going to fly back and forth across the country.
They're playing in DC tomorrow night, so they've got a series with the Nationals.
But here's the thing: the reason they said they weren't going to Dunedin, because Dunedin's a better stadium, was quite simply because of they said Florida's just a hotbed for the virus. But they're sitting here playing the Rays anyway, so I really don't understand that. But
and not to mention that as far as baseball goes or the sport itself goes, it is other than golf and tennis, it probably lends itself best to social and physical distancing than any other sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's really kind of silly the steps they're taking for something that doesn't. I'm seeing outfielders wearing face masks.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I mean, you're
players in center field. There's nobody around you for yards.
Yeah, you're seeing the catcher. I saw some catchers this weekend wearing masks. You've seen
the catcher I can get. You've got enough. The catcher I kind of get because you've got an umpire behind you and a batter, right there next to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can buy that a little bit. You want to sell me on that? But you center fielder? No, sir.
Well, how about the fact that the mask is around their chin, or maybe it covers their mouth? But I haven't seen anybody covering their mouth and their nose with it.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today.
There's a few.
In the dugout, I've seen them doing that, but on the field, they're not.
John's got some COVID thoughts. So I think he's stuck in New York right now on quarantine. Florida's messing up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I think we actually had a good day today or yesterday I think we were under 5 digits
Yeah, but the news isn't going to let you know that. So what I've noticed is there's a pattern, right? So whatever the scariest number is what is pushed. So if the overall number of tests for positive cases is the highest number and the scariest sounding number, that's what they run with. So you get the alert from whatever your local news source is. Florida set the record for 15,000 cases. You're like, oh my God, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
If that's lower, if that's like in 9,000, it's not that bad. Then the deaths are higher. It's the highest record death ever. And that's all the one today. Today was the hospitalizations. It's the most hospitalizations ever.
So what you're saying is they're spinning the data.
No, it's accurate data. They're spinning the way it's presented.
I don't even know that it's accurate data, to be telling you.
Well, okay.
I'm just not sold on that either.
No, I agree with you there too. I know what you're saying, and what I'm saying is that the number they're giving me is accurate. As far as the number they wanted to give me, right?
Right.
Whether or not that number is the true number that tested positive, single tests. This wasn't your 5th test in 3 days to try to get back to work, and it wasn't that kind of thing. But
Pooh Bear, you got to sell commercial spots, my man. And the only way to sell commercial spots is you got to keep people coming back to listen to the news.
I get it. But
the only way to get people to come back and listen to the news is to spin it in a way that gets people's attention.
But you got to understand that people aren't, your average Joe American citizen isn't reading that and saying, okay, let me balance this out. Let me take this to the other news source I want to check it against. Let me go read some news stories. Let me find out. Let me talk to my people in my community. No, they take that and they freak out and they make rash decisions and ruins it for the rest of us, like John is saying.
Well, and I don't want to go down a separate, rabbit hole.
Yeah, no COVID hole today.
Too late.
Yeah. But I was just gonna say, that's the problem with the 24-hour news, right? They've always got to have something sensational, and
right.
the consequences of that be damned. They don't care. We got to make a buck today. And what it does to freak everybody out or, just ruin society to go to an extreme, hell with it. Who cares?
And that's a good term for it, Matt, is the sensationalism of the numbers. So whatever the story is, that I don't necessarily think they're spinning it. They're just sensationalizing parts of it that they want to sensationalize to drive a narrative.
Yeah.
Hey, now that we've been on COVID for a while, before we wind up back on the NBA, can
whoa swear like that?
Can you put yourself to sleep?
Yeah, I probably could. But hey, can we talk about boxing for just a minute?
Yeah,
because
Mike Tyson.
Nothing has been important to boxing since Mike Tyson left. Okay, and now Mike Tyson is stepping back into the ring. He's 54 years old. Okay, he's gonna fight Roy Jones Jr., who would be 51 at the time of the fight. So you got 2 guys roughly my age out there who I don't want to step in the ring with at all. But I'm wondering, about what are you guys thinking about this? Is this a real fight? Is it not a real fight? Roy Jones Jr., his last fight was 2 years ago. Mike Tyson hasn't fought since 2005.
Did you see Mike Tyson signing his contract?
So
no.
Before we get to that, though,
wait.
54 years old, 51 years old, they're gonna have a boxing match, and you can't tie your shoes without pulling a muscle.
I know, man, dude. Things hurt, man. I mean,
help me out here, Chief.
I feel like okay. So I'm not trying to present myself as Mike Tyson, in that caliber. Okay, I get the fact these guys are a level above, but I'm just saying, I was involved in a very minor traffic accident a few weeks ago. I'm talking like a 10-mile-an-hour bump. And that night I was dizzy. I cannot imagine getting hit by Mike Tyson at my age. Dude, I may never get up again. I mean, it doesn't sound like something that you want to do.
I'm telling you, I don't know. You get hit by Mike Tyson at 80, you're gonna not gonna get up.
Well,
when I was 25, I would have taken the hit for the money. I mean, he was knocking people out, in 30 seconds, in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I would have stood in the ring and danced around and try to throw a punch, just to get paid. But these days, I'm thinking I may not get up from that. These guys, I don't think it's a great idea for them.
Well, did you see Mike signing his contract?
No, tell me about it.
Who wrote his name for him?
He's sitting there with his contract, and there's a picture of him. I think you can probably Google it or whatever. There he is, and he's smoking a joint.
Is he?
Nuh-uh.
Look at him.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
He may need it after he's done, man. That guy was an
He
animal
makes
back
no
in the
joke.
day.
I mean, he doesn't try to hide that. That's his thing, man.
Have you watched any of the YouTube videos of him training?
No, I have seen some
There's
recent of his.
there's been speculation for a while that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Chief. You guys are the same age.
he's 2 years older than me. I'm almost 52. He's 54.
I don't know how that makes it look better.
You're going the wrong way.
So for my standpoint, okay, there are times that I feel like I still got it and I can still do it. I just can't do it for very long, and if I give max effort at something, I'm okay. I can still get it. I can still, I don't know, 90% of what I used to do, but I'm done for the rest of the day. I mean, it's just, it's like the batteries just don't recharge anymore. And for sure, the injuries, oh my gosh, when I was 18, I would get injured. I'd go to bed and wake up and I was, back to 100%. Today, I can't even go to bed. It hurts to climb into bed sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
You sound like that Toby Keith song. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good. I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Wow, that's a tongue twister.
That's
Chief. I don't know if it's so much for you the length of time it takes to recover from an injury, but just the fact that everything is at risk of injury.
Well, they told me.
No, we lost him. Chief gone.
Yeah, he's got to wear the silks, John. I think you're right.
I just want to know, he might be practicing because remember he was practicing this at Cliff.
Yes, he said he might have to go at 7:30.
Cliff gone. He gone.
So we brought up high tops. Did you guys see the guy that wore the Vans? The pitcher for I think it was the Reds actually. He wore a pair of high top Van cleats.
No way. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So this Mike Tyson thing is for charity, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah. Mike Tyson's charity.
Yeah. So
he's getting paid to do this fight.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, there's got to be millions at stake here. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Okay, so this is just an exhibition between him and Roy Jones Jr. for them to put a little coin in their pocket. But there's not like this isn't like for some sort of charity or anything.
I don't think it's going to be.
It's going to be September 12th. It's an exhibition.
It is an exhibition
in California. We'll see if how much he's getting paid. I'm trying to find it.
We'll see.
On ESPN.
Maybe we might see a Don King sighting. Is he going to promote this, or is he even alive? Don King.
Don King. I don't know.
Are you still with us, Mr. King?
Hey Alexa.
He's getting paid.
Is Don King still alive?
Oh my gosh.
What's great is that anybody who goes back and watches this broadcast and has an Alexa and they hear me say, "Hey Alexa," their Alexa is going to go off.
Maybe.
I find joy in that.
Guy at work has one of those Alexa things, and his daughter's name's Alexa. So he's always talking. He mentions his daughter's name. The thing always goes bing.
Well, you can change it to Echo. You can change it to where you say, "Hey, Echo."
You can change its name.
Yeah, so it won't hear Alexa; it'll hear Echo. So all right. So what do we got next?
So hold on with the Mike Tyson thing.
Oh, I'm done with boxing.
First round knockout.
Getting paid.
First round knockout.
I don't know, man. That's Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones is pretty good. It's not like he's going to fight,
Buster Douglas,
Bob from the tire shop. I mean, it's another boxer who probably has as many or more wins.
I don't know. That'd be pretty crazy.
We'll have to have Javier back on when this happens because he is a huge boxing fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been against boxing to the degree of I think it's unless you knock a dude out, I think it's completely rigged. It's like I don't watch boxing.
Didn't you watch
but every time I've turned on ESPN the morning after a fight and they're giving the recap, there's always some controversy involved. It's me versus Pooh Bear ends in controversy means that there's a me versus Pooh Bear 2,
Correct.
So that, and maybe a me versus Pooh Bear 3, so that we can just make a couple more gazillion dollars, because we're the only legitimate fighters in the entire world.
I think
it's not like boxing has a deep bench of world-class boxers.
Right.
So to be able to continue to promote the sport and make money, you got to have the same couple of guys fight each other about every 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's probably true with modern day boxing. I think, back in the 60s and 70s, I think that was less true, as far as having the multiple events was more of a, we needed to settle this kind of thing. When Muhammad Ali and Hearns fought, and they did those 3 fights, and the last one being, I think it was the Thrilla in Manila.
The Thrilla in Manila.
I think that was the third one. Anyway, those matches were, there was legit, indecisiveness there. They really needed just another match to decide those. Whereas the modern day, I think you're right. It's more for hype. It's more to keep the name in the paper. It's more to get that bigger and better payday.
Remember when the Tyson Evander Holyfield fight? That was what, in like 96, 97, something like that.
I think they had 2 fights, because he bit his ear once.
Well, I think that was the second fight when he bit his ear, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't remember, but either way, I mean, everybody was talking about that leading up to the fight, and that night it was on. There was, Tyson Holyfield parties going on all over, and it was a big deal. But
I remember charging.
To your point, if it's rigged or not, I don't know.
I don't know. Let me ask you this:
the Russian. I don't think that was rigged. I think
Mike Tyson hasn't boxed
the Russian.
What about this though? Like Mike Tyson hasn't boxed in like a million years. Yeah. But the guy's like still a household name. Like he's been on Hangover a couple of times. Now I mean, does anybody remember that this dude went to prison?
Yes.
Nobody
for rape.
Yeah. For raping a woman.
Yeah.
And he was married to Robin Givens, right? Wasn't he married
who he beat.
Yes.
Yeah.
He assaulted, yes.
Who he was arrested for aggravated assault. Domestic violence or whatever.
I don't think anybody's going to defend his character, at least early on. He certainly seems to have turned that around, and honestly, that's what prison is for. It's to show you the error of your ways and make you pay a penance so that you don't do those things again. So if he truly hasn't done those things again, I say, hey, all right, good on you. You did it right. You didn't do the first part right, but you did the second part right.
Okay.
Well,
I just feel like some of these guys have, like in NFL or whatever, who have, been found guilty of domestic violence. Some of them aren't even in the league anymore.
Like a Ray Rice.
And some of them got, huge suspensions or whatever. Some of them aren't in the league anymore. This guy still, for whatever reason, people are still willing to pay the guy.
Well, like I said, there's been enough time. Chief, we're talking about how Tyson has kind of made a socially acceptable comeback, after his prison sentence and his beating of his wife, Robin Givens, how society seems to have forgiven him of those transgressions and welcomed him back to, pop star status kind of thing. So I think that happens more often than we really know.
Yeah, I think if you were to really think about it for a minute, you could go to celebrities who have done it. You could go to other sports figures who have done it and come back from it. And
I'll give you Robert Downey Jr.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the guy had a terrible drug addiction problem. Went to jail, I believe, for it. Went to rehab, straightened his life out. Now he's probably one of the largest movie stars around. He's certainly highly sought after.
Yeah, that's fair.
He made a few dollars for playing Iron Man.
A little bit.
But you're right. I mean, it's not just Mike Tyson. Sports is fraught with it, right? If you really think it through, I don't know.
I think that's America. We're a very forgiving people when it comes to those things. If you show true, sorry, that was me. If you show true contrition and can do something positive after your poor behavior or transgressions, whatever they may be.
That was probably true till earlier this year until cancel culture kicked in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that never will. Like there's people that say they'll never forgive Mike Vick for the dogfighting thing.
Well, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, but he has been welcomed back. He's on TV again. He's doing He's got a regular gig with ESPN. I think it's ESPN, maybe NFL Network. On Sunday mornings during the season, he's on TV. He's sideline reporting kind of thing, getting interviews. He seems to be welcomed back, at least by, sports world and kind of that higher level thinker place.
Well, I guess without the merits of if it's right or wrong, I guess time heals all wounds.
True.
I don't know. Maybe that's not true, but in a lot of these cases, it seems to be what's going on.
So John wants to know if we brought up the pitcher for those San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right because this definitely seems like the wrong type of name to have for this situation. But Coonrod.
I didn't see it.
He was the pitcher for the Giants on Thursday, I believe, for their opening day game. The entire team kneels except for Mr. Coonrod. Such an unfortunate name.
I know.
And he says that the reason he didn't kneel is because he's a Christian. His faith in Christ says that that's the only person he's going to kneel before. And other than that, he's not going to do it. So, I mean, I affirm his convictions. Or I understand his convictions, and I think I thought, and I said this from the beginning, that the people who won't kneel are going to be the next to be persecuted, right? That they're going to be the ones that you have to kneel now. Otherwise, you're canceled. Otherwise, you're going to be called out. You're going to be interviewed. Why aren't you kneeling? This is such an important issue. Why aren't you kneeling? What is your reasoning?
Well, and here's the thing: if you go back to last season, it was the one who was kneeling got all the attention, right? Whoever it might have been, in whatever game. I'm not singling out Kaepernick.
Correct.
I'm just saying whoever. Okay, and then this year, it's the one who won't is the one who's the headline. How quickly things have changed, right? And again, you can go right or wrong. That's a different discussion. But now, when you start saying to this, all right, so he did not kneel, and people are questioning him. His manager said, "Hey, I support everybody can express themselves the way they want." Okay, good answer. But now you can't find it if it's genuine for people,
right?
Because now everyone's doing it just to follow suit.
Correct.
And now
you can't not do it, right? Exactly. You can't not do it without being questioned,
right? And so those who now there's no legitimacy to a lot of folks doing it. I guess I don't know if I'm using the right words, but I think you get my meaning.
I think
now you're
right.
kind of being forced into it one way or another, socially forced into it. I don't want to say
you're just following the crowd. You're just following the crowd, and the message is going to get lost. It's just like the message gets lost amongst the protesters who turn a protest into a riot and start burning down buildings. You lost your message, no matter what it was. It's gone now.
Mm-hmm. So, but he was the only, and then of course they had. He was the only one who did it during that whole game on both teams, right?
I don't know if it was.
He's the only one who stood up.
It was definitely the only one on the Giants. I don't recall if it was I think it was the D-backs they're playing.
I don't know. Hey, do you know that if you press this button on your computer that has the little airplane on it, that it automatically ejects you from live shows like this?
You mean it puts you in airplane mode?
Yeah.
It shuts down your Wi-Fi and stuff. Yeah.
We thought you were practicing your.
Just out of curiosity, you've used an internet device before.
Yeah, but I had my camera, or my phone in my other hand, and I was trying to do a little behind the scenes research on something, and it fell onto my keyboard. Next thing I know, I was gone, and I was like, where'd everybody go? And then I'm trying to figure out what in the world happened because I can't get back in, and I'm like, that took me a while to figure it out.
We thought you were making a less than graceful exit.
No, just maybe an idiot. So here I'm back though.
Welcome back.
Yeah. I'm desperately trying to change the topic. So what else we got, B-Love?
We're done. Thank you for coming to watch the show.
Talk about
and that's another week of the man event.
He's done talking about Coonrod.
Oh man, I didn't see anything good coming of this conversation. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, continuing with the baseball front.
We thought you got
Again.
That's a legit concern right there, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a legit concern.
Oh man,
Oh,
there's no
gosh.
amount of like sports cream, Ben Gay, biofreeze.
Oh, used them all.
That's good enough for the Chief.
Mm.
The
So
biofreeze is good stuff, though.
hey, so on the baseball talk about where we at on the baseball topic. Pooh Bear sent us a challenge earlier today,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
and the challenge was for us to be prepared to make some bold predictions about the 2020 baseball season.
Yeah, it was something to do last week before the season started. It seems a little disingenuous now. You may have kind of
That's only 3
cheated
games.
a little bit. I
But
know.
how about
That's
this?
That's why I said, yeah, forget about it.
Before we get into some of those categories, here's the first bold prediction question.
Okay.
Does the season finish or not?
Hey, how do you know that's not one of my bold predictions?
Oh, okay. I apologize. Listen, this is your segment. Take it away.
It's not. It's not one of my predictions. So just what I wanted to do is to go through and I always find it fun to just throw out something that may never happen because most of this stuff never gets looked back at, right? So when a sports host or a commentator or even an athlete says something outrageous is going to happen or won't happen during the season, nobody ever goes back and says, "Wow, was he right? Did he get right?" But it's just something fun. Yeah. It's just something fun to talk about. Mm-hmm. So what I wanted to do, I just want to kind of, for myself, I think about these things all the time anyway, but I wanted to think of one specifically for the Rays, since we're all Rays fans, and then one overall for the entire league. And so my bold prediction for the Rays was that Ji-Man Choi will win the home run batting title. He will be your home run leader at the
for the Rays. For the Rays.
For the MLB.
Oh, for Major League Baseball, you think Ji-Man Choi? No way.
Ji-Man Choi. That is an outrageous prediction. He is a big hitter. He already has 2 home runs, right? So he's already.
No, it was the other guy that hit the home run.
No home runs.
No,
Ji-Man Choi tried to bat right-handed today, and that didn't work out so well.
He also hit a home run right-handed.
He hit a home run today?
Yeah, right-handed.
I wonder if I was asleep when that happened. I might have been taking a nap. Probably. I did not remember that.
Might have been rubbing some ointment on.
Yeah, maybe. He hit a home run. What?
So
was that one of the two? That'd be one of the 2 ones earlier in the game.
You think he'll have more home runs than say like Aaron Judge?
Yeah, I think he's going to be right there in the conversation, man. I'm telling you, the guy in the practice week last week, he hit like one every day. So and he's been working out. I follow him on Instagram. He's been working on this all during the break when he went back to South Korea. Wow. He was eating dumplings and hitting home runs in the cage, man. He's ready to roll.
Man, dumplings are so good.
Apparently, he's got a relative or someone that can cook them up because it was pretty often that he was posting about dumplings.
So you're challenging us to make a bold prediction that a Ray.
Yeah. So let's hear a bold prediction that involves a Tampa Bay Ray.
Okay. Not even. Go ahead, Cliffy.
Chief's got one.
I predict that Willie Adames goes error-free.
Ooh.
All 60 games.
60 games, error-free.
I think that could be legit, actually.
Who made the error today? Margot?
Margot did, yes.
All right. So Chief says.
Oh man, he's writing these down.
I didn't know he was going to write them down. Doggone, man. I guess we're on video, so we can go back and look them up anyway. But
yeah. No E's for 4.
That's a good one.
For the kid, Willie the Kid.
Willie the Kid.
I like it.
Willie
and honestly, it's not. I mean, it is a hard thing to do to go error free, especially when you play a
shortstop.
an involved position like shortstop because you've got fielding errors and throwing errors combined. Not to mention potential base run errors. But the fact that it's only 60 games definitely helps with that. I don't know what his errors were last year. We could look that up real quick. But yeah, that's a good one. I like that. It's going to help the Rays, and it's good. That's a good prediction, Cliffy.
Well, thank you.
That's a strong entry, as you would say, right?
He's bringing the thunder.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see it pays off.
Love that movie.
Oh, so
All right, here's mine.
Let's hear it.
Tyler Glasnow, Cy Young.
Wow.
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 Okay.
That was one of mine as well.
Glasnow, Cy Young.
So if he is that good of a pitcher right now, why hasn't he pitched yet? We're 3 games in, and he's starting off against. He's starting off tomorrow.
Well, he was
They were
shut.
playing Toronto.
He was shut down last year for elbow surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the last to get ready, basically, when all this was going on. He was not going to be ready until the All-Star break anyway. So he's actually the only one that's kind of on a normal cycle. So I think that's part of the reason why he hasn't pitched yet. But
I think there was some strategy involved too.
And a lot of times, the guy that wins the Cy Young isn't the ace of any staff. He's someone that kind of emerges as an ace after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's probably. I mean, listen, I mean, we talked about why was Blake Snell not the opening day starter?
Right.
He is the only Cy Young Award winner on the staff.
We found out today why.
Well, we found out today why. That's part of what I was getting at. Is I think Kevin Cash knows some things that we don't know, and I think with the shortened season, you have 2 aces. And you run them in the rotation number 1 and number 4. You don't run them back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So you threw your first ace, your main guy out there, Morton, which I mean he didn't particularly pitch very sharp on Friday night, but this is now your second ace going into the second series, right?
Well, I can understand Morton and Glasnow are both right-handed pitchers, correct? I think they're both right-handed.
Oh,
so and Snell is left-handed, so I can see, not wanting to give the same look over and over again.
Glasnow throws left.
That's what I thought, left-handed, yes.
Yeah.
And then Blake Snell throws left.
Yeah, so the only 2 lefties are him and Snell.
Yeah. All right, so you want to break it up a little bit, okay?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's
I like it though. I mean, I hope you're right.
I said the Rays had to win. I said the Rays had to win all of their home series.
Yep, which so far check the box.
And go 50-50, go 500 on the road, and they make the playoffs.
Hmm. So that means they probably have to win somewhere in the neighborhood of 42 games.
Win 42, 40, 43 games, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to Chiefs prediction. Willie Adames committed 17 errors last year in 152 games.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good fielding percentage.
That's 1 error every 9 games. So he would be on track to commit
like 6 or 7.
6 errors this year. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're going 0.
He wants 0.
I said
0.
He
also plays shortstop.
I get that.
Right. So he also plays shortstop, where probably the most errors are committed on a baseball field.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I would say second and short definitely are the prime error positions.
Right now, our left field is leading in errors.
Yeah.
That's unlucky.
Margot. I don't know, Margot.
So, Matty Ho, what do you got?
I got Jose Alvarado, right? I'm thinking he's going to get 6 saves.
It's not a lot.
That's if we're going to win 42 games and he only has 6 saves, that either means that we had a significant lead going in, or
no. I'm just saying. Well, you got to have that, and he's not going to be the only relief pitcher out there.
True.
I think in a 60-game season, that's pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, it's unprecedented, so we really don't know how this is all going to shake out.
Nobody picked Kevin Cash as manager of the year.
I would pick Charlie Montoya as manager of the year. I think Charlie is doing something with that Toronto team, and they are going to catch a lot of people by surprise this year.
Well, let's hope you're wrong.
Well, yeah. I think my point is how bold of a prediction is that though for Kevin Cash to win manager of the year?
I would. That's an arguable point.
He should have won it last year if
Correct,
it wasn't
yep.
for Rocco and
The Twins.
the A's manager. So, it is a great prediction. It's a short season. He's going to have to do a lot of managing to get this done. I would love to see it. I just don't know how bold of a prediction that is.
Man, how many Rays guys are managing Major League Baseball teams right now?
Quite a few.
Are you counting John Madden?
How about our former hitting coach is a
just
is
he
a
just
big
got
leaguer.
ejected.
Really?
You talking about Sheldon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got ejected for arguing balls and strikes, and he may be on suspension because that was part of the COVID rules, is that you're not allowed to come out of the dugout to argue balls and strikes, and he did.
Wow.
Oh, I can
So
see
you
that.
got him, you got Rocco, you got Joe, you got Davey Martinez.
Yep.
You got Montoya.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else? Gabe Kapler.
Gabe Kapler.
You go to the Wayback Machine there.
Yeah.
There's at least 6 former Rays who are managing major league teams. That's pretty incredible.
Wow, so
Joe Madden,
circling
and pretty much Joe Madden. All of those guys were under Joe Madden's tutelage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Joe Madden coaching tree. Circling back to Matt's prediction. Jose Alvarado had 7 saves last year in 35 games.
Wow. So that's not much of a stretch.
Nope.
Well, that was gonna. Wait a minute. In 35 games?
Yeah, 2019 he had 35 appearances. One of those was a start, and 7 of those were saves.
Right. Okay. Out of a 162 game season, though.
30 total innings. Yes. Well,
right. So
yeah, but he was shut down for a lot of that too.
Yeah, but okay, but it's still a 60 game season. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to be out there as a relief pitcher every night.
No. No, I think he's only made 1 appearance so far.
Yeah, today.
I think he's made all 3 appearances.
He's made 2 appearances. According to this.
All right.
4 strikeouts. That's pretty good. Good old.
But to get a save, you got to be in the lead. So
okay.
What else you got for us, Pooh Bear?
That's our four Rays predictions. What about an MLB overall? My prediction kind of ties into what we just talked about. Is that not the first time, but the first time since 03, 04, a reliever will win the Cy Young. I think.
Wow.
Who do you have for that?
I don't have a specific reliever. I'm just saying that whoever's team is competing for the championship is probably going to have a reliever who is so efficient at saves or these relief appearances that's going to be that valuable that where they're going to award him the Cy Young.
Was that Trevor Hoffman, by the way, the last one?
It was Dennis Eckersley. Or Hoffman won it. I think it was Eckersley was the one before that.
That goes back a little. That guy played forever.
Yeah.
Well,
so, and those guys won it based off of saves, right? So deservedly so. They had killer seasons. But I think this is just such an unusual season and with an unusual circumstance that, we're going to see the relievers become that much more important to their teams. Starters aren't going to, especially right now, you're going to have the first 2 weeks where they're only going to go, 3-4 innings.
I think you could be right.
They're not going to be the picture of record for a lot of these games.
Yeah, I think you could be right. And if you go back and watch the last couple of shows that we've had, we've talked quite a bit about relief pitching being a big factor. And I mean, when you look at this weekend series, just that the Rays played, we won that series on relief pitching.
Well, yeah, but we always knew the Rays had good.
Right. And what I mean by that is we didn't start scoring runs in any of those games until we got to their relievers.
Right.
We came back in the bottom of the 8th yesterday, and we came back in the bottom of the 9th today.
Yeah, that and the Rays relievers saved them today because Snell did not have his best. And he was chased after 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good prediction there, Pooh Bear.
I was just looking really quick. I don't know if this is a big deal or a surprise or not, but no team got swept this weekend.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think there's any undefeated teams left either. Let's see.
No, everybody's at. I mean, there's no 3-0. Yeah, there has to be if nobody got swept. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just was looking through the ESPN here, and I just see, man, everybody's 2-1 or 1-2.
So for my Cy Young, I went a New York connection. I went American League Cy Young to Garrett Cole of the Yankees. The Yankees.
Okay, again, not that bold.
And well, the bold part is they're both going to be from New York.
Okay.
And the other guy is Jake DeGrom from the Mets.
Again, not that bold. Defending Cy Young winner.
I don't know if I don't know if calling them because they're both from the same city, not the same team, makes that all that bold. You know.
Well, like I said, I mean, you've got one guy who is the defending Cy Young leader or winner from his team, from his division, or from his conference or his league, and Garrett Cole, who is arguably the best pitcher in baseball. You know, so again, not that bold, safe pick, but you know, it's still, it'd be tough to get both of them to do it. But I wrote it down; it's there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, who's up next? Here's my bold prediction.
All right.
Baltimore wins the AL East.
Oh, whoa, that is bold.
I quit.
I got to make up for levels. Kind of.
Wow, that's not bold. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
They went 2-1 this weekend, so I'm just saying.
You know, they're in first place right now.
Tied for first with the Rays.
That's a bold, but that's what I'm talking about, Matty Ho.
Go big or go home.
That's
Come on,
right.
Level. You may want to change yours up a little bit.
Put it out there.
The O's.
Put your meat on the grill. Let's see what
you
got.
Okay, so I'll go there, and I predicted that 1 to 2 teams would make the playoffs with a losing record.
Okay,
that's one of them.
You want to be bold? You'll go back and change yours to say Verlander wins a Cy Young this year.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway, Cliffy, what do you got?
Dave, what do you got?
All right, here we go. I predict that the Rays will sweep the Yankees in New York, their first meeting there.
So next week, the Rays go 3-0 against the Yanks.
Yes, in New York.
The evil empire.
In their own house.
I will tell you this right now. If they sweep the Yankees in their own house,
that's a
season over.
Well, you heard it here first.
The season would be over. That's all the momentum that the Rays would need.
Yeah, it's still 2 months though. That's normally a month is a solid time for any MLB team to stay hot, and it happens all the time. 2 months is not.
Yeah, but if they make that, you're talking about if they make that kind of run. Well, shoot, I'm remembering that all of their games are in the AL East this season.
Yeah,
So I was going to say, but if you remember, the first year we went to the World Series in 2008, we opened up smacking around the Yankees and Boston in the first few weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all she wrote. That was all those boys needed.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the Rays are young enough that they will not forget if they do it. And all they need is that first win. Mm-hmm. They need to go there into Yankee Stadium and get the first win, and it's all over from there.
Yeah, and how much easier is it going to be without the crowd?
It's a big ego boost.
Right?
That's true, too. I mean, you're essentially just playing the baseball stadium.
You're in front of a bunch of cardboard cutouts with some piped-in noise going.
Mm-hmm. New York didn't even pipe in noise the other day.
A lot easier than a whole. Well, they haven't played in New York yet. They were in Washington, and they
they didn't pipe it in.
That was a great first pitch, by the way.
You
oh my gosh,
you've got an entire section chanting your name and booing you and talking about your mother. It's a little tougher to get a hit.
I think he would have practiced that first pitch a little more, don't you think?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he's been a little busy. I don't know.
He claimed that he used to play in high school.
I do not believe that for a second. Not like that.
It'll be a long, no problem. I used to play in high school.
Here's a bold prediction. Fauci throws out the first pitch for the Nationals in the first round of the playoffs, and he throws a strike.
Wow.
Is he throwing underhand or overhand?
I don't think he'll let him throw again.
With mask or without mask?
No, it'll still be with a mask.
I don't
Say
know.
it'll still be with a mask.
He was catching heat for sitting in the stands with no mask on.
I know he did have he did have his mask on. I said, this is ridiculous.
He had it pulled down, I think, right?
Yeah.
He
got it on the chin there.
Yeah.
So he was sipping some water, and then they
Do
went
as
back
I
and looked
say,
at like,
not
it was
as
like a
I
half
do.
hour, homie.
Yeah. I don't know. He was taking a breather. He had to get some oxygen.
What else you got for us, Pooh Bear?
That's it. I just wanted to get some bold predictions
it?
from you guys. Well, yeah. It's
We're not going to talk about you don't no bold predictions about who's going to play in the World Series?
No, because I mean, I can't really come up with anything that's bold and intelligent.
Okay.
Matt, go with the Orioles.
Yeah, Matt, the Orioles will win. Which again, isn't that? I'll tell you this. I will say that I think there's going to be two surprising teams toward the end of the season. We're all going to be like, wow, we didn't see that coming, and that's going to be the Padres and the Reds. I think the Padres, of course, now with the signings they had last year with Machado and some of the other guys, they were kind of expected to do better, but they did not. So I think this year,
Lovell's got COVID.
I think this is the year the Padres are going to finally break out. And I think the Reds, they look like they could be a force to reckon with also.
They
with
do
their pitching
already. Yeah.
That made my eyes water.
It was funny to watch with no sound.
What, the Orioles go into the
Lowell just about went down.
Lovell having a coughing fit there.
Hey, we didn't get a chance to discuss the football team of Washington.
Oh,
Or the Washington football team.
They should just keep it that way.
He should have just gone with a symbol as the name, and that way they could have been the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins.
Yes, that would be cool.
I mean, that's essentially what he did. So,
well, what they did was they bought themselves some time. They're like, listen, we're not going to make this rash decision, this week just because you want us to. You've canceled us. You need us to. We're going to think about this. We're going to keep our colors, just call ourselves the football team for now.
Yeah.
Come next season, we'll come back with a bigger, better name.
And they got their plate full with other things too. So this is probably a good safe choice right now. We'll just go with football team for now.
Yeah.
And everybody will know when they're talking about Washington, so that'll be okay. But is it even going to matter? Are they going to play any games this year?
Football? Listen, Tom Brady checked in for duty, by the way, this week.
He did. And he got a new locker.
Now somebody just opted out of the season. Who was that? That was
the guard for
Kansas City, right?
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Chiefs guard, who also happens to be a candy striper in Canada.
Yeah, he's an essential worker. Yeah, Tom Brady checked in for work this week, got his COVID test.
He's ready to play. I just don't know if it's actually going to happen.
I was at Sam's Club today, and you walk in, and the very first thing that you're greeted with is
85-inch TV.
No, it was no.
Did you get one?
It was right behind that. That was right behind this though. But they had a big display of Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski T-shirts. I'm like, no, they didn't have any other players. It was just those two guys.
Well, here's the thing: you should buy those shirts now because if let's just say the season doesn't happen and then they retire, you'll have a shirt from a team that they never actually played for.
Hobby's already got the Tom Brady jersey.
Yes.
Yeah, that may be worth millions one day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying. So if they don't play this year, does Brady come back next year? Or do you think he says, we tried?
There's a lot of what ifs and a lot of time between them.
I don't see how they don't play. I mean, I guess let me ask you guys this. Is football, is the NFL the type of season that you could do a reduced amount of games on? Could you play 10 games?
You could play them, but it's not going to mean as much.
Because you can eliminate spring training and 6 games.
I think it's already been eliminated. The preseason's already been done.
Yeah, they already acted that.
So you could eliminate the preseason and 6 games and buy 10 weeks.
But all right, if they were to do that though, then they would be starting. They'd have to push it out even later, which would mean baseball would stop playing because there's a bigger issue, right? What would prevent them from starting if baseball's already ongoing, unless something bigger happened, and then baseball would be stopped? Then I think they would just lose the whole season. Otherwise, they'll start in September like they normally would.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason. I don't see a reason for a lot of things, but that's just me. But at this point, the science isn't behind a reason for them not to play. Like it's not spreading because you're going to work, right?
So I guess the thing would be, if baseball keeps playing, football will play. If baseball has an issue, then nobody's going to play.
Right. I think baseball is the litmus test.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
For the rest of the leagues, because the NHL and the NBA are doing different things. They're in bubbles.
They're in bubbles.
Yeah, it's a much different deal for them. So baseball is the one true league that is doing it essentially like normal. They're guys are going home every night. They're being tested at home at work, but the traveling team is coming to town. They're staying at a hotel. Home team is going home and staying in their own beds. And
how can you enforce like the mask rule though in the NFL? Because I mean those are guys. I mean, and then like you were talking about this earlier, the guy in center field doesn't need to be wearing a mask. Like there's nobody even remotely close to him.
Correct.
But in the NFL, like the center is getting breathed on by the nose guard. Right. Pretty heavily.
but the CDC guidelines say that in order to get that viral load transferred from person to person, it takes close contact within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. So the nose tackle is not over the center for more than 15 minutes.
Here's the
collectively in a whole game, he probably is.
Yes, but that's what the whole thing. That viral load is what is. If I'm expelling the virus, I have to expel enough of it in a close quarters in a short amount of time for it to infect you, right? And that's not happening in an open air field where we snap the ball. I go back to my huddle. You go back to your huddle. You might block a different person. Now we come back. Yes, we're face to face for a minute max. Ball is snapped. I'm back to my thing. You're back to your thing. We move downfield, change sidelines, or go back to the sidelines rather.
Yeah, but here's the downside of all this. If the NFL does play, the coaches will have to wear masks, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody on the sidelines will wear a mask. Some of the players might. But when you're watching football and you can't see like John Gruden make those awesome faces because he's got his mask on, now you've lost half the fun of football.
Well, he may be wearing a clear shield. He
should. For ratings.
I think they've been taking a look at that clear shield too.
Oakley developed a clear shield for players to wear behind the face mask. Because a lot of guys wear a visor anyway, like Jameis Winston did all his entire career. It just extends down and goes through to the face mask, to where whatever you're expelling is kind of blocked and hopefully goes down.
For the guys in baseball, because when you go to the mound for a meeting, nobody has to cover their mouths anymore. You can't read anything anyway.
So this is episode 19. Of the main event, episode 19 of the main event.
Believe it or not,
we are a long way away from the Tiger King leading our show.
Yes.
So I have to ask, Tiger King or live baseball? What do you guys like talking about more?
Oh my gosh, live baseball.
Baseball.
Hey, before we go, I got something to say. I got something I want. So I was doing a little research for the show. I ran across this little tidbit. Tell me if you guys. It says advice for young men. Okay, it's got like 30 things on here. Advice for young men. Tell me if you agree with these things, okay? I'm going to start off with one I thought was pretty important. It says, never turn down a breath mint. Sounds like solid advice, huh? Someone's offering you. Okay. Never shake a man's hand sitting down.
Yes.
Anyone ever make that mistake?
Nope.
All right. Don't enter the pool by the stairs.
Nope. Always jump in.
Always jump. Absolutely. And then here we go. And I don't think we're going to have any problem with this one, but this one could be argued. The man at the barbecue grill is the closest thing to a king.
Yes.
Especially at a tailgate.
Yes. As the man who smoked 2 pork butts this morning, I am king.
Oh man.
Yeah, you got any of that left over?
I've got a whole tray. Come on over, brother.
How long does that take to smoke?
I'm being serious. I'm coming over tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm getting my pulled pork.
Yep. Come on. I made two. It took me. I started at 8 this morning. I pulled them off at 2. So what was that 6 hours?
6 hours. Yeah.
On the Komodo.
Yep,
or
on the
Kamado?
Komodo. And then they rested for a couple hours, and I shredded them around 4. Man, just pulled right up. I didn't even need the meat sticks or the meat claws. It just came right
Hey,
apart.
can you go get it? Can you go get a little bit of it and like show it on the TV right now?
It's down.
Come on, just do it, man. Just
It's
do
a
it. We'll
hype.
wait.
So what was there a special occasion for the pork butts?
It's down there, and there's a bunch of teenage girls down there too. And I don't know, man.
They won't eat it.
Special, no,
Get it.
just we were at Sam's. Yeah, they've already killed you. Listen, I thought teenage boys were the ones that ate a lot of food.
Yeah.
Teenage girls.
Yeah. When there's no boys around, they will crush it. Yeah.
I don't know where they put it. It is crazy.
They're all wearing.
But no, we just
their Thanksgiving Day pants down there.
yeah, it's all they wear anyway.
So, would you do me a favor? Just take a picture of it afterwards and then just text it to me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, thanks, man.
All right. Well, I'm taking I don't know if I can get it. Maybe it is a risk. I've only done it once before, and it's probably the most difficult cut I think to smoke. But I'm firing up a brisket on Saturday morning.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's good. When are you doing this?
On Saturday morning. My niece got a birthday coming up. She asked if I would smoke a brisket, so I just bought a 10-pounder today.
Hey, if you tell Matt it's going to be served during a Rays game, you're safe.
That is not cool, man.
Hey guys, tonight it's 8:30. I got to run, and I've been standing for 2 hours. So
That's on you. That's on
hey,
you.
by the way, my battery made it the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, good looking out. That's good looking out.
Well, you took a 15-minute break, about 20 minutes. 20
Well,
minutes ago.
airplane mode. It was still on, just in airplane mode. So
I see.
probably my
Well,
fault.
we did get our hour and a half in, so gentlemen, another
That's it.
episode 19. Check in the books.
19.
Yeah, first one from Studio 4A.
What are y'all going to do for our 20th anniversary?
The
what
episode 20 is next week. We got to do
the
something
20th
special.
Everyone's got to wear a funky hat or
All right, wear your man event shirts next week.
There you
There
go.
All
you
right.
go. That works.
Wear the man event shirts.
Hey, for those of you who hung out with us the whole time, thanks for watching the 19th episode of the Man Event. Enjoyed having you, and do it again next week.
That's right. You got to subscribe so we can get more content like this. Like it, so that tells the YouTube algorithm that this is the kind of thing you want to see appearing in your newsfeed.
And
You don't miss any
participate, man.
videos.
Throw your comments up there like John did today, and we'll talk about it. Bring
That's
us your
right. You'll-
ideas. Bring us things you want to talk about. We're ready to listen.
We'll make you famous.
Yeah.
I'll make you famous. I'm going to go watch that movie now that I think about it. All right. That's going to do it. We'll be back next week at 7 o'clock. Set
Till
your
then,
calendars.
Watch some baseball.
That's it. Good night, everyone.
That's it.
Take care, guys. See ya.